Okay, so good afternoon, CyberPatriot members. I'm Cody Kelsey over at Canyon Springs High School, and I'm going to be giving you a tutorial on permissions for folders, files, and directories. So, as you can see right here, we have Malwarebytes anti-malware. I just installed it using this off my computer. I copied over a file, two files that I have on my personal computer. TeamSpeak server folder and an operating systems folder with all these operating systems in it, which I got legally, by the way. So as a start right now, let me just show you. If we just go to user accounts, I can show you CyberPatriot, my account, is password protected. Then if we go to manage another account, I have Fred Knox. Shout out to Fred. How you doing? Hope you're having a great day. I have Fred's account. That's the only name I could think of at the time. I don't know why. But say I don't want him opening my TeamSpeak server folder. I can go to right-click, or I can go to Properties, and then I can go to Security. And as you can see, you have CyberPatriot. I'm allowed to open this because that's my name. That's my account. And then people that are in the administrators group are allowed to open this. So let me just show you what the administrators group is real quick. You can click on Start, right-click on Computer, left-click Manage, and then we wait for it to pop up. Then we can go right up here into local users and groups. Users, this just shows the users that we have on this computer. The guest account, which is disabled right now. The local administrator account, which comes with every Windows computer. My account, and then Fred's account. So now if we go over to groups, we have the administrator group, and then all of these other groups, which really honestly you don't need to know about. The two main groups that we have, though, are users and administrators. Users have basic permissions. They can basically do everything, except, I believe, install anything or anything of that sort. But then we have administrators, and as you can see right up here, administrators have complete and unrestricted access to the computer/domain. So they have unrestricted access to the computer, and they can basically do anything. My file itself is an administrator account, so I am in this administrators group. Now, if I want to not have Fred access this folder, I can go up here and I can click Edit. I can permissions for TeamSpeak server, group, or user names. I can click Add. And I can type in Fred Knox. And I want to do check names, just that way I make sure I spelled it right. That way this computer knows, hey, this is the person that I'm trying to find. Click OK. OK, Fred's on there. Now, defaultly, it lets him read and execute the folder, meaning it'll let him open up the folder and let him look at it. List the folder contents, which means list what's inside the folder. And, well, read again. Now, notice he can't do write, which means he can't make a new folder in it. He can't delete anything out of it. He can't modify it, which means delete anything out of it. And if I give him full control, that just gives him everything except special permissions. The only thing that has special permissions, I believe, is system. Yeah. Oh, no, I have special permissions as well because that belongs to me. Now then, actually, I don't want him having access to this TeamSpeak server. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to deny him full control. He can't modify it. He can't read and execute it. He can't list the folder contents. He can't read or write it. Now, what I could do, however, is instead I can uncheck that. I won't let him modify it. I'll let him read and execute it, though. And it just won't list the folder contents, it won't read it, it won't write it, it'll just show him that the folder's there. So we're going to click Apply. You are setting a deny permissions entry. Deny entries take precedence over allow entries, meaning if he has something allowed, if something's denied, it's going to override it. This means that if a user is a member of two groups, one that is allowed a permission and one is denied the same permission, that user is denied the same permission. Click yes. So say Fred was a part of the administrators group. Whether he's in a part of the administrators group and still has unrestricted access to the computer, that doesn't matter, because in his account he is denied access, meaning that just overrides his administrator privileges. So we can click OK. Click OK again, and then operating systems. So I have a few Windows 7 Ultimates in here. Let's just say I don't want him opening my miscellaneous folder, which is Malwarebytes, PowerISO, and a few other things that I use for computers. Let's say I don't want him opening that. I can do the same thing. I can go to Properties. I can go to Security, Edit. I want to click Add, and then I'll type Fred Knox. That's not right. Knox. It has to be exactly how the name is spelled, otherwise Windows will not recognize that account. Check names, and notice it checked the name. It found it. And I don't even want him to open the folder. So I'll just do full control, full deny, and then I'll click apply. Same thing that I just read you earlier. We click yes, okay, okay. Now then, obviously we cannot deny somebody from opening up the internet. We can't deny them from opening up the internet. We can't deny them from any of that. But we can deny them from opening up files or programs. I can open up Malwarebytes Anti-Malware Home. As you can see, I can open it up, I can set a scan, I can configure it, I can go here, scan now. Checking for updates, I can do the scan. Now, however, I can go over here, and if I click on it and do the same thing, I can right-click, go to Properties, and just do the same thing that we did for the folders. We can click Security, we can click Edit, and it's going to ask, since it's a program, it's going to ask for administrative privileges, which, since I have administrative privileges, it won't open up and tempt me for. Now, I can click Add, Fred Knox, check names, OK, and then I can deny him full control, meaning he cannot open it, he cannot touch it. He can basically double-click on it, and it'll tell him his permissions has been denied. Same little message that I read you earlier. Click OK, and then we can exit out of this. Now, we're going to go over to Fred's account, and I'll show you what it says when he tries accessing those folders. So, we're going to log off my account. And then we're going to go over here to Fred. As you can see, he has Malwarebytes Anti-Malware right there. VMware tools. Alright, he has Malwarebytes Anti-Malware right here. Can't really see the icon, but if he double-clicks on this, see, I'm double-clicking on it, and it's not letting me do anything. So if I right-click, just to show you, it's just not going to let him do anything for us. Continue. It's going to ask me for my permissions. And then that shows, hey, you know what? He doesn't have any control over this whatsoever. So I can do that. I can do that. Apply. Okay, okay. Now still, double click. It just doesn't really even let him open the file. It doesn't even show that it's there. It just shows that it's on his desktop and that it's installed. Now, he doesn't have that folder, those TeamSpeak folder and the operating systems folder on his account. But what we can do is we can go to Computer, Local Disk, Users, CyberPatriot, and of course, I mean, we can see that he just doesn't have access to my folder. But for argument's sake, let's just say he does have access to my folder. We can go to Desktop, TeamSpeak Server. You currently don't have access to this folder. You've been denied permissions to this folder. That's what we were looking for. Now, whether I gave him access through his account or not, he can still not see what's in that folder. He can open it, or he can try to open it, but like it says, to gain access to this folder, you will need to use the security tab. So if we open up a security tab, he's not an administrator user. So he can't open that. He can't do anything with it. Now let's go to operating systems. Okay, so he can open that because he has control over that. He can open up Windows 7 Ultimate. He can open up the other Windows 7 Ultimate. He can open up Windows 10. But now if he opens up miscellaneous, he doesn't have access to that. Say he knows my password. He still does not have access to that folder because I denied him access. Now, let's say we go to Start. We go to User Accounts. Now, let's say we change his account type. What the heck? There it is. I don't know why that wasn't working. Let's change him to administrator. Change account type. He's an administrator now. Now then, if he double clicks on this, he still can't open it. And if we go to our File Explorer down here, if we go to the same way that we did last time, users, CyberPatriot, desktop, TeamSpeak server, he still doesn't have access to that. And since he's an administrator, he can click continue. But he can click yes, since he's an administrator, he doesn't have to enter his password because he doesn't have one. He still has been denied permissions. Now if we go to Security tab, we can click continue. We can click his account. Unable to display current owner. And if we click here, we can see you do not have permission to view this object's security properties because I denied him permissions from that folder. He can't even alter that to change himself out and to let himself have access to that. So in order for him to have access to that TeamSpeak folder, that TeamSpeak server folder, I have to give him access. And for argument's sake, let's just do it with the operating systems again. If we go to miscellaneous, we can click continue. We can click Fred's account, click yes. You've still been denied access to this folder. We can go to Security tab. To view this, you must be an administrative user with permission to view this object's security properties. Do you want to continue? We can click continue. His again, and yes. And since he is not the current owner, it will say unable to display current owner because I'm the current owner of that folder. And we don't want, if we have a giant system of many different people, we don't want people to be able to go straight to that person saying, hey, why don't I have permissions to this? Obviously, they don't have permissions for a reason. Now, he still does not have permissions to change that. So whether he goes to other groups and folders or anything like that, replace owner on subcoordinate and objects, he can't even do anything because if we click that, there's no apply option. We can click OK. There's nothing you can do to gain access to that folder. So those are our permissions. We tried it with a file. We tried it with those folders. That's how you set the permissions. And we'll just go over that one more time just for sake. I'm just going to try to cut this at 15 minutes. So we can go to here. Now he still cannot open that. Still can't open it. So now then, I'll come right over here and I'll show you how to do those permissions one more time. Alright, so let's show you how to do those permissions one more time. We can right click on Malwarebyte to anti-malware, go to Properties. We're going to go up to the Security tab right up here. And if somebody doesn't have permission or does have a thing on there and it says deny, we can click Edit. Same way, we can do Add, and we can add Fred's name and we can deny him the permissions just through these boxes right here. But now we're going to uncheck those permissions so we can allow him full control. He can do all of that, and we can click Apply. Now then, let's do it with the TeamSpeak server as well. We can go to Properties, we can go to security, Fred Knox, edit, click Fred Knox, and we can click allow control. And which really we can't even do that right now because of that. Alright, now we can click add full control. And when we click apply, he now has full control over this document and he can open it. So let's just test that out real quick. Switch user, Fred Knox, and as you can see, he can see the icon now. So we can double click on this. We see that little loading circle. It wants to say, hey, can I open this? Yeah, sure, you can open it. And it's going to load Malwarebytes. See, now that we gave him the permissions, he can open it. And if we go over to those folders, you don't really need to know how to do this, but we go to computer, local disk, users, and the user you want to go into to access their files. Since you're administrator, you can do that. We can go to CyberPatriot. My desktop is where the folder is. Now, we can remember, if we remember, the TeamSpeak server, he didn't have access to. So we can click TeamSpeak server. He now has full access to that. And just because I gave him access to that doesn't mean that he has access to that miscellaneous folder that I still haven't blocked from. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is how the permissions for Windows 7 works. I hope you all wrote down notes because you're going to need them to remember all of this. It's a very step-by-step process. If you need to watch this again, you can ask your instructor for the link. Other than that, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I hope you have a great time at competition. Bye.